Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Gaming Weekly.
Resident Evil 2 is out today, if you're watching the show on YouTube, that is, and we've played it.
Yeah, we also played Alien Blackout, that mobile game we sort of trashed last week, and we like it.
Oops. So yeah, we really are internet commenters in real life.
To be fair, I only sent like 2 death threats this week.
I only doxed one person today.
For you. You're a hero.
That's true. But moving on, people also keep leaking content from the Dreams beta, and it is super cool, but you can't see any of it, sorry. Sony slapped a massive NDA on that bitch, so none of it is actually allowed.
Yeah, well, first up, we can talk about the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, if you didn't already know, this is a full remake of the original game, not a remaster, not a re-release.
The whole thing was built from the ground up in the Resident Evil 7 engine and lets you play as either Leon or Claire, encouraging multiple playthroughs with unlockable secrets.
Alana, you put a bunch of time into this game. Should people be excited to play it this weekend? I already know your answer.
Yeah. I mean, you saw it as well, Bruce.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really good. I think it's better than the original Resident Evil 2. I think it might now officially be my favorite Resident Evil, beating RE4.
Wow.
But I also really like 7, and the stuff that this does differently to 7 is obviously the perspective's different. It's not in first person, so it looks different inherently, but it's also just, the gore in it is really extreme. So when we played it, last week?
Yeah, last week.
That video's up right now. You shoot someone, you shoot a zombie in the head, and the bullet wounds all stay.
That's cool.
So everywhere that you shoot them, it just stays on their body.
That's really cool.
Oh, it's disgusting, but it's very gory and very cool. There are a couple of criticisms that I have, but they're all really minor. It feels really short. Getting through Leon's campaign, which is the only one that I've gotten through, is 8 hours, and then you can play through his again, and you can play through Claire's, but they are very, very, very similar campaigns. So the two of them sort of follow the same path except for one character and a slightly different ending, but it doesn't feel all that replayable, and it's kind of short. We had this weird audio bug when we played it for the first time, which I haven't been able to replicate, where everyone sounded like they were whispering.
It was really strange.
Yeah.
It was a really strange bug.
None of the dialogue came through, but sound effects did, which was really odd. There are some areas that drag, but mostly it's a really good survival horror that I think virtually anyone who likes survival horror or Resident Evil will love. I can't really fault it for that. It's probably one of the best I've played in a long time.
There's one huge issue that I have not seen, that most people have not picked up, that I definitely have the biggest issue. It's not Resident Evil 3 Nemesis, the best Resident Evil, right, James?
Nah.
Okay.
Didn't even get his support on that one. No.
Nobody's support. I don't even know what he's talking about.
I just didn't like the tube top. She runs around the whole game in a tube top.
You get unlockable outfits, duh.
There's a tube top in Resident Evil 3?
Jill.
That's
Jill
Jill.
runs around, spends the whole game in a tube top.
I'm
Who wants
in.
that?
Yeah, I'm not clear on the criticism here.
Well, that's weirdly enough not the only horror game we played this January. Alien Blackout is the latest installment in the Alien franchise, and it's a mobile game.
Spooky. Those are the worst types of games. We hate those.
Cash grab. Bah!
This one actually just came out and tries its hardest to capture the sound and atmosphere of Alien Isolation, even though the playstyle is very different.
Yeah, it's more like a Five Nights at Freddy's, where on a timer you've got to manage power sources to keep your crew alive.
Yeah, none of them matter that much, but it is worth mentioning that you play as Amanda Ripley, who was also the main character in Alien Isolation, so they're trying to keep the thread of familiarity there.
Yeah, it's not a sequel, more of a spin-off, because of course, it's a mobile game, motherfucker.
How I feel. I mean, it just came out on January 24th, and Alana put a lot of time into that one as too. Where do you find the fucking time?
It's a good question. My mom's been here. It's been a week. So I don't play mobile games at all. This kind of feels like a mobile game for people who don't play mobile games. I think they even said that. It's scary. It's really easy to put up and pick down, but it doesn't have like shit flashing out and asking you to buy stuff because there aren't any microtransactions. So you're sort of just controlling all these different cameras, looking for the alien and trying to get a crew to all the different places they need to go to be able to escape. But it's really, really, really hard because it's Alien. He shows up when you don't expect him, and power goes out and you're trying to close a door to lock him off, but you're too late because you've used power somewhere else in the station. So it's a lot more management than Five Nights at Freddy's, even though the concept is kind of similar. The dev team actually said the concept came from the part of the movie where David is opening and closing doors to funnel the aliens through. So that's what it was inspired by. And yeah, you've got 4 characters who all have different skills, including Amanda, who's obviously the engineer. That's why she can control everything. Oh, sorry, not including, there's 5 total. And they talk to each other. There's tons of dialogue. It's pretty well scripted. You don't really need to worry about any of them, but if you lose one of them, you'll lose their abilities, so that you can still survive without them. But it's mostly just that it's super spooky. The sound design is fantastic. It encourages you to play with headphones, and I totally would if you have the option to, because you can hear when the alien's coming, and even off camera, like you'll be like, shit, he's totally about to come into this room.
Yeah,
so
I know you already said it, but what about the microtransactions?
There
Mobile
are
game.
none.
Oh,
no
that's great.
microtransactions. Game costs $5 or $4.99. That's it.
So how come last week, Alana, I wasn't here. Last week you didn't like the game, or I guess the impressions initially were you didn't like the game, and now you're like, oh, you know what? Actually, it's cool.
Yeah, Lawrence was that actually. My hot take.
So that's okay though.
But what is the difference between you and Lawrence?
No, I was gonna say, see,
Different people.
That's the reason I'm asking. It's because I want to make sure that, you know, like, hey, sometimes people don't like I'm betting that if I play this game, I'm probably not gonna be like, oh man, I love this, $5, totally worth it. Like, but you, on the other hand, you're loving it. So
I would be surprised if most people who like traditional video games don't like this.
Okay.
I think the hardest sell is to get them to play a mobile game, which was like a difficult sell for me, but the controversy surrounding this and people being mad about an Alien game was like, why don't we talk about it and see if it's good or bad, because people were very mad about it existing. I would bet that everyone in this room would enjoy this game. But that was basically an impression that I don't think is invalid, is that it feels to people like if they're coming out with an Alien mobile game that we're not getting a core Alien game that we want, especially after Isolation, people have been waiting forever. We're still getting those though. So there's still a shooter in development. In theory, this shouldn't take away from that.
Aliens Colonial Marines 2.
Finally,
No.
the sequel we deserve.
No,
I have a
we
question.
good.
Yeah.
Can you play as the star of 90s television sitcom Rock in the game?
Wait, it's ROC?
Yeah.
I mean,
Remember?
I remember the show, yes.
Yeah.
But
He was in Alien 3.
Oh.
Remember? He killed a guy.
Okay, what about
no, but good pitch for
he's not in
DLC
it.
though. Yeah.
Here, I'll do you one better. What about the weird guy in the wheelchair who was in Amelie from Alien 4?
What about the dad from Clueless?
What about Paul Reiser? And finally, we've got impressions of something we haven't been able to play because people keep breaking NDA.
Yep, the PS4 exclusive Dreams is currently in a private beta, and even though they aren't allowed to, a few people who have access have leaked some pretty awesome creations.
So far, someone's managed to very closely recreate Silent Hill PT, or at least the hallway. They just posted a 30-second clip they made. We don't know about the gameplay part.
Yeah, someone else managed to recreate a scene from Dead Space, complete with green lights on Isaac's suit, but again, without interacting with the stuff, it's hard to know just how spot on it all is.
Yeah, it all looks really good, but Dreams can be misleading. Of course.
Is that the game or life?
I was gonna say
Either?
both.
What is it if you dream about teeth, you're dying, money?
You have your period.
Wait,
what it
no, I
is.
think it's anxiety.
I don't know.
Yeah,
All
anyway.
of the above.
So yeah, for anyone who doesn't already know, because Sony's approach to marketing has been pretty weird, Dreams is a game, sort of, where you make things.
But you can also just play stuff other people have made, and the options are pretty much limitless.
Yeah, so I've seen this game in person a few times. The first time was back in 2015 at Paris Games Week, which is forever ago.
Almost 4 years ago.
I think that might have even been when they announced it. It's so long ago, and we still don't know when it's coming out. But it's really hard to explain. So it's kind of like a social network mixed with heroin, mixed with Photoshop, mixed with DeviantArt. Okay. The idea being you have the tools to make virtually anything, a movie, a game, a song, and you just share it with everyone or no one. You can choose how you want to do that as well. And if I were to make like good trees, someone could pick up a tree from my library of trees, they would follow me because I'm the tree guy, and then put them into their game or world, and then they can grow them and adapt them and
That's
add other
cool.
stuff onto them.
That's really cool.
It's huge, but that means that it is really hard to explain because you kind of need to see it in action. And feasibly, yeah, it makes sense that someone could make Silent Hill PT in Dreams. Like someone could make Dead Space in Dreams. You can pretty much do anything.
But could you make that weird baby chicken hybrid thing that was in the sink that one time?
You could make all of it, Adam, even the weird chicken fetus thing from Silent Hill PT. You could even
Finally!
you can even make the hallway turn into the weird colored hellscape that it turns into with all the eyes everywhere. I'm not saying it would be quick to make because it probably would take a long time, but you can for sure do it. You can record your own voice to add audio. You can add in different triggers. I think the coolest thing that I've seen about Dreams is every time that I have seen it, I ask the team at Media Molecule questions like, can I do this? What if I did this? Could I do this? And they've always said yes. There has not been a single question that I've asked them that's been like, could I do this if I wanted? They're always like, oh yeah, no, we'll show you. And it's just like, unfathomably huge and limitless. It's really cool.
Can you play as the guy from 90s television sitcom Rock?
You can, James. You just have to make him first.
We can bring that model in and we can play as Rock.
You could also bring his audio in.
I'm in.
All right. Well, didn't know that about
What
you.
about Michael Bean's corpse in the beginning of the film? When they just go, oh yeah, he didn't make it.
Dump him.
Seeing Dreams in action actually sounds like the best way to market this game, which is why even having the NDA seems like such a weird choice. People have loved seeing these leaks.
And it's probably because the game's still in beta and PlayStation doesn't want a bunch of bugs getting out there because, of course, betas have bugs.
Yeah, especially
What?
when I mean, but I feel like that's normal and the gaming audience knows that regardless. Especially when you made something that is an insane 3D creation sharing platform or whatever the hell you call Dreams.
Still, it's one of those things that we've been hearing about for years and we're still pretty much waiting on.
Yeah.
And we're starting to see the stuff that people have been working and things that people really care about.
They do, yeah.
It's really cool.
It's
And
their first time seeing it and they really love it.
I think at this point too, with the internet, we're used to bugs. It's okay.
I think so, yeah.
The Goat Simulator is a thing.
Like even us talking about PT and Dead Space, we technically can't even show you the stuff that we're talking about. I could be like, go to Twitter, but that would piss someone off. So I definitely am not telling you to do that. But it all looks really, really cool. And people are like, what is this Dreams game I haven't heard about? And you're like, duh, and just let us show people what this game
Maybe
is.
that is the marketing strategy.
That's a really strange
People
marketing
have to
strategy.
break NDA to market the thing.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know. This doesn't make any sense. All right, well, back to writing death threats on Twitter. Here I go.
You tell them, Bruce.
And on that note, we hate all of you and we hope you have a terrible, terrible weekend.
That is not true, and thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you next week.
To what do you attribute NetherRealm's ability to make games with such ridiculous amounts of content when other fighters in the scene seem to struggle to get there? I mean, the content creators we have at NetherRealm Studios are amazing, amazing individuals. Like, they are the ones that spearhead all of that. There is a large